we come into a world in which most of the elements necessary for health integration are already polluted before they are built into our own organism. We breathe in pollution with the first breath of life. We find pollution present in the body of the mother, pollution that cannot be entirely avoided. The parent has to live upon the food products, upon the environmental pressures of the world. Thus we come into a physical world that is full of problems, and we come into a physical body that is full of problems. We have therefore not only to fight against the pressures of many forces around us that we do not admire, but we are required to adjust to the conditioning influence of these processes within ourselves. To meet this situation, the modern thinking has developed a number of concepts of nutrition, but by the time we grow up to the point where before even the years of majority, we have already inhaled the problems of humanity. Even the light of the sun is not coming to us in its best possible form. We know that the basic discomforts of the body result in discomforts of thought and feeling. In other words, the human being in the body is not comfortable. And even if the basic instincts and intuition do come from within the individual, they must pass through a partly corrupted body in order to come into manifestation. And as a result of this, the body itself is unable to provide an appropriate environment for consciousness or for the higher ideals of human nature. Corruption always lowers thresholds. It always makes things less than they should be. It distorts. And we sort of feel that these distortions are the real self, and they are not. So getting in is not easy. Getting out is not easy. And being here is not easy. The individual does the best he can considering the conditions in which he exists. And these conditions, unfortunately, are also operating inside of it. Also, we realize that world psychological pressures are continuously afflicting the best parts of ourselves. They are continually preventing us from manifesting the reality that we would like to know and understand. The ancients, therefore, gave us the concept that the body is the living temple of the living God. Each human body is a sanctuary for a spiritual entity or reality. This body, this temple, has been in various ways corrupted. More intelligently viewed, more carefully considered, this temple, which has become a place of merchandise, is also within ourselves. Most folks do not even bother to consider the body a temple. In the first place, to most individuals, the body is merely a servant of the purposes of the will, the mind, and the emotions. The body is merely a kind of animal, which is supposed to draw wagons as horses did. Nature wants the individual to grow. Nature has provided an environment suitable for growth, and the human being has gradually, over a long period of time, compromised his principles, and in so doing has adversely conditioned the world in which he lives. So here we are as persons inhabiting two environments, the larger environment of the world and the smaller environment of our own body. Now the physical body has laws. Everything in the universe is ruled by law. And the laws of the physical body are very simple. The law is that the body is the instrument by means of which the individual is able to exist in this material world. Without the body is a vaporous abstraction. Now we have in the world what we might call the good life. This good life is very largely lived at the expense of health. It is a means of indulgence of appetite. Going a little further into this situation, we come upon natural protection by which the body seeks to restore itself. These mechanisms to function, however, must be given the cooperation of the person inhabiting it. Actually, it is impossible for a body governed by natural law to work in harmony with a mind or emotion that is violating natural law. The body needs proper environment. And in our present intense scientific industrialism, the body of the individual is sacrificed to external factors that are themselves not necessarily valid. If we live in a world in which most of human activity is devoted to a single purpose, and that is economic maintenance, the body is going to be one of the primary victims. It is not intended to work deep under the earth, hour after hour, year after year. It is not intended to be locked into an industrial situation in which there is no incentive for the development of the person in the body. This person becomes merely a servant of a world economic institution, and as a result of that, in turn, the body suffers and gradually falls into a variety of infirmities. This industry takes the person away from the natural habits of life. He is gradually being locked into a kind of life that is now governed largely by computerization. All this means sickness. It means trouble. It means that the individual has not recognized the true nature of his own instruction. This body is his house. It is his duty to keep this house as best he can, and to gradually realize that it is not his own house alone. It is the house of the divine power which manifests through it. To keep this house is therefore not merely a physical responsibility, it is a spiritual responsibility. Because if it is allowed to fall into disorder, that part of man which is the important part, the part which is tied to the universe and tied to the divine plan of things, is forbidden natural expression. When the inner life becomes disturbed, it reacts upon the body, lowering resistance